And I would like to share my screen again. Yeah, there it is. Before I start, let me introduce myself. I am Dr. Geeta Shah. I'm a radiologist, and I'm also a sound healer, a bath flower remedy practitioner, Kriya Yoga practitioner, and also a seeker. So here it is. And my topic today is fasting and the science of fasting. And I'll be mainly talking about autophagy and its spiritual significance. So let us start. Fasting has been a part of our culture, not only in India, but all over the world from thousands and thousands of years. It's been a part of the religious and spiritual belief. It's been common to many cultures. It has been practiced for millennia. And the scientific analysis has been done now. And a lot of facts are coming up and evidences are coming up as to the health benefits, and which our rishis knew thousands and thousands of years ago. So it's been a part of our religious, spiritual, and health practices. So be it any religion, be it Jainism, where fasting is such an important part of Bajushan, or be it in Sanatan Dharma, Hindu Dharma, where there are Ekadashis twice in a month, and there is this particular month is called the Chaturmas, the 4 months of the monsoon, where fasting is encouraged, and where even it has a scientific basis, because just during in the last summer months and when the first rains come, there are a lot of infections of the bacteria and viruses, and the initial rains, the runoff that happens with the water is very polluted. So fasting at this time makes a lot of sense, and that is what has been inculcated in our spiritual practice in these first 4 months. And be it in the Islam religion also, it has been advocated, be it Christianity, where Jesus fasted for 40 days and even Moses fasted for 120 days. So what is autophagy? Autophagy is a part of fasting, and in fact is a very important component, and science has now come to know about it. So it is a Greek word which is derived from Greek word auto, which is self, and phagi, to eat. Thus, autophagy means self-eating or self-cannibalization. So it is the process by which the cells, they degrade the macromolecules or all cell parts, and even the bacteria and the viruses and other microorganisms which are harmful to our health. And then these components are recycled, and then they are used to provide for fuel and energy to build new cells, to build the new building blocks for cell renewal and rejuvenation and repair. So who brought this word first? It was coined by a Belgian scientist named Christian de Vieux in 1963. And he also discovered the cell lysosome, which plays a very important role in the digestion of these old and diseased cells. And in 1974, he was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for discovering this component. And it's a key component for autophagy. And another scientist, a biologist, a Japanese scientist, Yoshinori Oshume, he performed many experiments on the yeast cells and discovered the genes that are essential for autophagy. And in 2016, he was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine. So why so much interest in autophagy is because it plays a very important role in prevention and cure of certain diseases, including cancer and devastating diseases like Alzheimer's. So let us look at a short video. I'd like to share this video with you on autophagy, which explains beautifully how it functions.
Autophagy. Why do we need it? This is Paul. Every day he reads his favorite newspaper, but over time a giant stack of paper collects in his house. Only the recycling truck can save him from drowning in yesterday's news. But what happens to his paper afterwards? Much of it is reconstituted for new uses in the cycle we call recycling. But long before we began recycling our trash, nature was following the same principle. Even the cells in our body recycle their trash. There, the cycle is called autophagy. Cells eliminate invading viruses and bacteria, but also harmful protein aggregates and old or damaged parts of the cell's nucleus that are no longer needed. The process of breaking these things down involves two liquid-filled structures inside the cell. The autophagosome collects the trash and transports it to the lysosome. The lysosome contains digestive enzymes that finally separate the cellular junk into its component parts. But don't worry, nothing goes to waste. These broken down parts are turned into new cell components that can be used again. It has many advantages. Our body's natural resources are conserved, we save energy, and our cell's trash can never overflow. But sometimes the trash isn't disposed of correctly. This can cause diseases such as infections with certain forms of viral influenza, Alzheimer's, or cancer. But how is autophagy controlled? Paul found the answer in one of his newspapers. The Japanese biologist Yoshinori Osumi was doing research about 25 years ago when he made a major discovery. He was investigating the genes of simple yeast cells. In various experiments, he kept changing those genes in order to test the effect this would have on the cell's recycling process. Eventually, he found 15 genes in the yeast that were responsible for different stages of the autophagy process. Then he was able to apply his finding to human cells, which is why he received the 2016 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine. There are still many puzzles and secrets about autophagy, but scientists are working on decoding them. Paul is relieved to know how important his built-in recycling system is for keeping his cells healthy.
It's quite amazing, isn't it? So that's what keeps our bodies healthy and the trash in check. And when it goes out of hand, that's when the problems start. So what are the benefits of autophagy? It removes the toxic proteins from the cells that cause Alzheimer's and other also neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's disease. All the residual protein is recycled. जो बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक्स जो बनते हैं उसकी एनर्जी वही एनर्जी यूज होती है फॉर द बिल्डिंग ऑफ न्यू सेल्स एंड रिपेयर और न्यू सेल्स बनते हैं वो रीजनरेट इसी एनर्जी से होते हैं और एंटी एजिंग वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट and it produces young cells and in fact turning the clock backwards and making the cells younger. So it plays a very important role in preventing and treating cancer because cancer is what? It's an overproduction of harmful cells. So keeping all this collecting, it prevents all the collection of these harmful cells and that's what happens with autophagy. So many studies suggest that a lot of cancer cells may be removed by autophagy. So what promotes autophagy? Diet changes, fasting is main thing, intermittent fasting. So what happens is that when the body is low on sugar during fasting, that is when it brings about a positive stress that wakes up the survival repairing mode. और हम अक्सर देखते हैं जब भी हम मुश्किल का सामना करते हैं तभी हमारे डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म्स बहुत स्ट्रांग हो जाते हैं. इसी तरह यहाँ भी जो थोड़ा जो पॉजिटिव स्ट्रेस होता है वो ज़रूरी होता है ताकि हम अलर्ट रहे और अवेयर रहे. So fasting is actually very beneficial for stimulating autophagy. ये दो तरह से काम करता है. We are clearing out all our old junk protein and cellular parts and at the same time it also stimulates the production of the growth hormone. So growth hormone tells our body कि अभी नया parts बनाना है for renovation and rejuvenation. और किस वजह से autophagy turn off होता है? That happens because of eating. So eating से इंसुलिन प्रोड्यूस होता है और ग्लूकोज बनता है, उससे और इवन प्रोटीन्स जो हम खाते हैं उससे ये सेल्फ क्लीनिंग प्रोसेस बंद होता है. So fasting is the only condition that produces autophagy, and it is not found something with simple caloric restriction or dieting से autophagy नहीं stimulate होता है, तो ये ध्यान रखना जरूरी है. But बहुत ज़्यादा फास्टिंग भी हार्मफुल है और बहुत ज़्यादा खाना भी हार्मफुल है, तो वी हैव टू फाइंड द परफेक्ट बैलेंस, नॉट कांस्टेंट डाइटिंग एंड नॉट कांस्टेंट ईटिंग. So we must have a perfect balance. Eat for cell growth, so eat wisely, and for cellular cleansing, fasting. So there has to be a balance. जो actually हमारे spiritual practices में already है, जो feasting होते हैं, fasts होते हैं, उसके बाद feasting होती है, celebrations होते हैं, कीर्तन होते हैं. So we'll talk about that later. So life is all about balance and moderation. Or another very important factor that stimulates autophagy is exercise. So autophagy is induced in those organs that are part of the metabolic process, like the muscles, जो exercise में actively involved होते हैं, वही organs. जैसे हमारे muscles हैं, liver, pancreas, and the fat, the adipose tissue. But a word of caution: before you start fasting, you need to consult your doctor. And if you're pregnant, if you have diabetes or any other comorbidities, you have to be careful and do it under a doctor's supervision. So by adding fasting and regular exercise into your daily routine, you can stimulate autophagy in your body and keep all these diseases at bay. So autophagy is so beneficial that it is now regarded as an important factor in preventing very devastating diseases such as cancer and neurodegeneration, where the nerve tissues are damaged, like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis. Then heart conditions like with enlargement of the heart, cardiomyopathy, diabetes, certain liver diseases like hepatitis, cirrhosis, certain autoimmune diseases where your body turns against yourself, where like eczema, asthma, and certain or rheumatoid arthritis and certain skin conditions, rashes, and infections with viruses and bacteria. And now in this COVID and Corona time, this is extremely important to follow this path to protect yourself and your loved ones. So coming to fasting, we just spoke about how fasting induces autophagy. So our digestive system actually utilizes 80% of our energy for digestion, absorption, and assimilation. And the 20% is used for healing, repair, recovery, growth, for detoxification, immunity, the building of the antibodies and the immune cells, for rejuvenation. और जब भी हम ये digestive system बहुत ज़्यादा utilize होता है and we use most of our energy for digestion, that is when the energy is not available for repair, recovery, growth. और ये कब होता है? जब भी हम बहुत ज़्यादा खाते हैं. और ये अभी ये society में, this modern society, we see that everything is so freely available, and the junk food and full of preservatives, and we keep it stored in the freezer, and we don't eat fresh food, and that is why we eat only for our taste. और उसकी वजह से constantly our whole system and energy is working only for digestion and absorption and assimilation, and no energy is available for the repair work and rejuvenation work. So that is why too much eating at the wrong times, it will drain our energy, and that leaves very little energy for recovery. Fasting is what gives our system a break and a temporary shutdown. That is what boosts the immunity, and immunity is the buzzword right now in this pandemic time. For stem cell regeneration, even for hormonal balance. So remember friends, fasting starvation nahi hai, fasting deprivation nahi hai. You are not depriving yourself. एक डिसिप्लिन है और इसको एक डिसिप्लिन की तरह से वेल प्लान करके स्ट्रेटजाइज करके अगर हम यूज करें तो इट विल रियली हेल्प आवर रिजुविनेशन एंड डिटॉक्सिफिकेशन. एंड रिमेंबर फ्रेंड्स, स्किपिंग मील्स इज नॉट फास्टिंग. सो कोई भी मील स्किप करने की या अपने आप को डिप्राइव करने की जरूरत नहीं है. तो इनको सोच समझ के अपने कैपेसिटी देख के इनको इनकॉर्पोरेट करना चाहिए. So these findings of science, they've done many studies, not only on rats and guinea pigs, but also in humans, and they found they've corroborated and confirmed all these findings by raising the immunity, lowering the glucose, lowering the fat level, weight reduction, detoxification, and a lot of diseases have cleared up. So this has been proved now by science. So even by our fasts, like the Ekadashi, Ektana, the Jain fast, the Dharna Parna, where you eat for one day and then you fast the other day, Rosa, 1 month Rosa rakhte hai, you don't eat for the whole day and you break the fast in the evening. Lent is the fast that is practiced by Christianity just before the Easter celebration, Easter and Thanksgiving. So bearing this in mind, Hindus and a lot of other cultures and religions, they observed these fasts, the vrats, and that protected us from many diseases and gave us longevity. So as far as science is concerned, they advise that eat less and live healthily is what is their conclusion. So the question is कि अगर ये मान लेते हैं कि फास्टिंग से इन सब से हमारी हेल्थ और लॉन्जिविटी बढ़ जाती है, लाइफ एक्सपेक्टेंसी बढ़ जाती है, लेकिन इसका हम क्या करें, हम ज़्यादा जी के हमारा मकसद क्या है? तो ये भी ध्यान में रखना बहुत ज़रूरी है. और ये आंसर हमारे ऋषियों ने सनातन धर्म में बहुत पहले से दिया है कि शरीर माध्यम खालू धर्म साधनम, to observe dharma to attain परमात्मा. तो ये this is the spiritual significance के ये fasting और ये ध्यान में रखते हुए कि हमारा सही गोल क्या है, वो परमात्मा को पहुंचने का है, अपने आप अपने रियल सेल्फ को जानता है. तो ये इस माध्यम से to build our health and longevity so that we can do our spiritual practices. So that is the main goal of this. So that the rishis realized that आम जो आदमी है वो अपने आप को कंट्रोल नहीं कर सकता. It is very difficult to control the taste and the taste buds and the gluttony. So that is why they interweaved the religious practices such as fasting and festivals, the vrats, the bhakti, the rituals, and the celebrations and the family get-togethers. So, and these they made sure that this happened throughout the year at regular intervals. And that is how they ensured that we not only controlled our taste buds and our culinary pleasures, as well as we also feasted. So as I said earlier, for cell growth and as well as for cell rejuvenation and to maintain the perfect balance. So friends, we have to go back to our roots and practice all these spiritual sadhanas that have been prescribed by our spiritual masters. So we realize that thus happily people observe fasts as part of the festival and celebrations, जैसे नवरात्रि है और बहुत सारे festivals है हमारे country में. तो इनसे हमारी टेस्ट बड्स जैसे मैंने बताया, ग्लटनी और ग्रीड हम कंट्रोल करते हैं, हमारी फिजिकल हेल्थ को प्रोटेक्ट करते हैं और एट द सेम टाइम हमारे जो भक्ति से हम हमारे सेंसेस और माइंड स्पेशली और हमारे अंतःकरण को, सोल को, हम उनको रीडायरेक्ट करते हैं भक्ति और परमात्मा की तरफ. तो ये दुगना इससे फायदा है और इससे भक्ति और साधना से हम हमारे स्पिरिचुअल प्रोग्रेस को बहुत ज़्यादा एक्सेलरेट करेंगे एंड द फाइनल गोल टुवर्ड्स मोक्ष. So friends, without dharma and bhakti, one would be entrenched deeper and deeper into the quicksands of samsara and maya. इससे हम बहुत ज़्यादा बहुत नीचे चले जाएंगे और enmeshed ये संसार में हो जाएंगे. So that is why the new mantra is eat less, live healthily for moksha, which should be our real purpose in life, because we have obtained this human body in this lifetime, and as they say, it's very durlabh. So to take care of it, ये हमारा परम कर्तव्य है. So I thank you all for this opportunity and for listening to me. And I hope this encourages you to fast. It has definitely encouraged me when I was researching this, because I found it very difficult. I was doing regular ekadashis twice in a month, but to control not eating while working was not very easy. But now I think I can, and I will do it. So do keep me posted, friends. And I would like to end this session. Thank you, Asha ji, once again. So with a small prayer that, friends, we are all in this together, and we have to endeavor, we have to put all our best efforts in bringing our planet Earth back to her original health and absolute well-being, and no effort is less, and let us get together and pray. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Punatu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvina Vatitamastu Ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.